different.
How's that
That's a
different?
threat.
It's just a sign. It's
That
free
would
speech,
be
right?
like if you call in a bomb threat, that's freedom of speech and you shouldn't be arrested for it. That's
Okay,
not the same thing.
what if the sign says "fuck Joe Biden" and he's a pedophile? Then what?
That's fine. You could do that all day long.
No, you can't.
Absolutely, you can. What are you talking about?
Go do that outside the
Yes,
White
you
House and
can.
see what happens.
Nothing would happen. What are you
There's
talking
probably
about?
people standing out there right now doing it.
There's probably
Every day.
Trumpsters out there. Yeah, there's probably hundreds of them out there with signs like that.
Yeah. Gucci,
You're out of your mind.
Are you going to be able to keep your job if you do that? Are you going to be able to post that on social media? Absolutely
what
not.
you did,
Not once providing any proof.
Absolutely not, Jake.
Dude, yeah,
What
if you work for a
proposing-
country that doesn't like, or a company that doesn't like Joe Biden, like if you work for Chick-fil-A or something like that, they're absolutely going to be like all up on your nuts for doing something like that.
Exactly. So freedom of speech, not freedom of consequences. Same thing.
Okay. But we're talking about living in a free government, right? Which means you can go out there and do something. The fact that some companies may not like your message and some companies will love your message, that's just like any message that you have, right?
No, but you're misunderstanding. There's values these people have in that part of the world, okay, that we don't have in the West. These people live by a different standard. You either accept it or you don't move there. As simple as that.
Okay, but what about the fact that they have a long history of finding innocent people that when there's a crime and people want justice, they find an innocent person and then they torture them until they sign a confession. That's UAE. There's like a laundry list of times that's happened. It's listed by human rights organizations as their normal operations. That's why. And by the way, they're not a signatory to any of the human rights. They're not a signatory.
Maybe in Qatar. I don't know about UAE.
This is in UAE.
Nice. The weather's nice there.
And they're not a signatory to any of the UN documents for basic human rights.
But the weather's nice.
See, the problem with freedom of speech, right? And I believe in freedom of speech. The problem is it gets to a point where corruption and degeneracy just overtakes it, and that's what's happening in the West.
No, you don't believe in free speech.
And
You just
then
admitted
these
that.
guys, and then these people who have a religious background, they don't let degeneracy corrupt their countries. Okay, so this is the difference.
You
This
just-
is
you
why
just
When you say
contradicted
corruption
yourself.
and degeneracy, you mean you don't like transgender people. That's what
no,
you're
it has
asking.
nothing to do with transgender people. You
Okay,
can be
what does degeneracy? How does degeneracy manifest itself in society? Then?
Okay, so I'll tell you how this works, and
I bet you he doesn't get anywhere near the end of this without mentioning transgender people.
Yeah,
But
I will get to it. Every gay person, every transgender person is free to
There
live
you
in
go.
any of those countries.
Literally,
in any of those
you go.
countries.
in a second sentence.
I'm answering. You're not letting me finish. Every gay person and every transgender person can live in those countries for free. They could do whatever they want as long as they do it in their own home. So where
No,
does
they
the term
can't.
degeneracy come from?
The
term degeneracy is when you do it in public, when you try to
You're a
persuade
liar.
other people.
I told you.
persuade
I
other
told you,
people.
You're just so predictable.
When you persuade other people, when you do it in front of children, when you try to make others believe in something that you want them to believe, that's degeneracy. In your own home, go be gay.
All they
No one
gotta
has a
do
problem
is
with that.
suspect you of. All they have to do is
If you-
suspect you of those things.
If you
And they'll throw your
decide
ass in
to
jail.
walk down the street dressed as a cowboy, are you making other people? Are you forcing children to believe that you're a cowboy?
No.
Well, why not?
You just dress as a cowboy.
Right. So if you dress as a woman, are you forcing children to believe you're a woman?
No.
Right. So what are you on about then?
What if you're going there with just a bikini with a bulge with your cock coming out? How about that?
Well, what if you're not?
Yeah, if you the problem is not if you're not, it's happening. That's what the what if is it's happened.
So it's scantily dressed people that you've got a problem with now. Then.
Yeah, so when you so when you initially had
Hold on. Now, is it scantily dressed transgender people or scantily dressed people that you objecting to?
Well, it's got to be transgender, right? Or right?
Okay, so why?
Because-
though?
if it's a real
because
hot
if you're
chick,
straight and you do that, they label you as a pedophile and you go to jail.
if it's like
Well,
Farrah
not
Fawcett,
necessarily. It depends where you are, right? I mean, if you're near a beach, people walk around. Men walk around with nothing on the top. Women walk around in bikinis, right? I mean,
Like if I pull my pants down and then go to a boys' change room, the cops are going to be called. I'm going to get arrested. But if I tell everybody, hey, I've transitioned, I'm a woman, I'm going to do it in a female bathroom, then it's fine.
but why we got to bathrooms? Because that wasn't part of your original thing. This is what always gets me. So, degeneracy for you is just the existence of transgender people. Isn't it?
No, I explained it to you. It's not.
Yeah. Well, when I say the existence outside of their own home.
In the public, if they're trying to advocate for it, yes.
And it
So if
doesn't
you-
matter
if-
how many clothes they're wearing.
No, it matters.
There's
it
a
matters.
danger that they might be scantily dressed. Normal people, anyone else, well, I won't say normal people, but people who aren't transgender, cisgendered people, they're fine. Walk around in a bikini, don't wear a shirt, just do what you like. But if you're transgender, you have to cover up. This is your freedom.
But
that you're
okay,
saying.
but you got to understand, in the 90s and the early
This is the
2000s, right?
freedom that you're having.
In the 90s and the early 2000s, when this topic came about, it was about gay people not having rights, them not be able to marry each other and all that, right? That was what the original issue with the gay people was. No one had a problem with it. They got everything they wanted. They got
They
their
did.
fucking.
Of course they did.
Of course they did in
People
the
said
2000s.
all of the stupid shit that you're saying now, people said then. Oh, they're really mad. It's a mental illness.
You're talking about the 90s and the 80s. I'm talking about the 2000s.
You can pray away the gay.
No, in the 2000s they got full rights. What do you mean? Which gay person doesn't have a right since 2000?
Right. So what you're saying is in the past when the gay people didn't have rights, but then they did have rights. So if we refer back to the time when they did have rights, then they did have rights. What point are you making?
The point I'm making is in the 2000s that was the issue, and they were given their rights. No one had a problem with them.
But people did have a problem with it. You are delusional if you think that gay people just wandered up and said, "Oh, we don't have the rights, same rights as everyone else," and everyone went, "Oh gosh, sorry about that. Yeah, here you go."
Okay, so
What are
in the
you
year, let's say
talking about?
2010,
This
which
did not happen. You are delusional if you think that happened. That still hasn't happened.
Which part of the society in the first world country in the UK or the US discriminated against gay people in, let's say, 2010 or 2015?
There were no same-sex marriages until the 2000s for a start, right?
But we are talking about past 2000s.
Can I say something?
Why though? Why? What you're saying is, look, gay people didn't have this problem. If we only reference the time when they didn't have the problem, if we ignore the time when they did have the problem, they didn't have the problem. So why is it that transgender people have got a problem when gay people didn't have a problem after they had a problem? You see how idiotic your argument is?
No, because you're not letting me finish, man.
Yeah, because what you're saying is, if I ignore the time when gay people didn't have a problem, when gay people had a problem, gay people didn't have a problem, but gay people did have a problem.
Can I say something? Can I say something?
For centuries.
If a cop pulled over two guys and they were in a car naked, they would get arrested. Do you know that?
Right, thank
If
you.
you got pulled over
I guess that
if two
helps.
guys were naked in a car in the 90s and a cop pulled them over, you would be arrested.
Okay, okay, we've heard that.
All right, but if you were male and female and naked, they wouldn't arrest you.
Right, there you go. There's one thing for you.
How do you know that, though? If you were near a school, you would get arrested.
No, that's true. It was sodomy was against the law. Sodomy was against the law in Texas till like 1995.
Yeah, so that's not sodomy. You had to be sitting on your lap to be sodomy.
Okay, before you guys could continue this, I promise. Let me just make one thing to Jen Panda's argument. Let me just say one thing. Don't interrupt me. I'm not saying there was no problems before the 2000s. What I'm telling you is, yes, we acknowledge there was problems with the gay rights and marriage and all that before the 2000s. What I'm telling you is, in 2000s they got the full rights for workplace equal opportunity. They got the right to marry each other and all that. So all their rights were given to them. Nobody discriminated.
Right. So you would think that that's what should happen. Again. And you think that that's what should happen with transgender people now, right? You think
no. So.
Right.
You interrupted him.
You interrupted
him.
Yeah, because he's making a comparison.
No, you interrupted him.
He's making a comparison with something that he doesn't agree with and pretending that he does.
No, because you have to understand that gay and transgenderism was the same topic in the early 2000s.
Right,
it's
so
only
why
recently
have you
that's been
linked the
split.
two?
Okay, so the point I'm trying to make...
You're using gay people to make some point about transgender people.
Okay, call it trans. Call it trans. Don't even forget the gays. Call it trans.
Forget 2000. People. Yeah, we don't want to be calling
in
them
2000s and early 2000s, they were given rights to marry each other and live freely just like anybody else, okay? My point is, you had everything. You have everything. What else are you complaining about? Why do you have to go after against our children? Why do you have to go against kids nowadays? Why are you going after people's kids?
Transgender people aren't necessarily gay people.
Well, the point is, why are you going after people's kids? You have
because
the right.
They feel that they have a right.
Let's examine that bullshit that you just came out with. What does going after people's kids mean?
Okay, let me show you the video of what it means. Okay, hold on.
Sneaky Peter.
When you show him the video, he's gonna ask you another retarded question.
He's gonna show me some fucking
it's just one question to the next with you never get it. You just want to be spoon-fed the whole night.
He's gonna show me some trans show in some bar or something that there happened to be a handful of children at, and he's gonna and that some parent elected to take their children to, and he's gonna tell me this is them going for our kids.
Yeah. A gay bar it is not a place where children go to.
Here I posted it. Okay? So in a New York City drag march, when they're explicitly saying "We are coming for your children" chant, and then they say it's taken out of context. Okay.
He doesn't even want to hear it.
Oh, he's got you there,
John. 1,000 times.
It's a KO right there.
It's just meaningless drivel. If they're even saying that, and I don't think it's necessarily true that they are. But if they are, they're just being ironic, aren't they? You cannot possibly believe, you cannot think, no reasonable adult could think that they have announced their intentions to go for your children, that they're announcing this to the world, that that's what they actually intend to do.
They're not reasonable adults.
You cannot
be
that
reasonable adults.
Stupid. You cannot be that stupid to think that that is what they're actually doing in that video.
Yeah, good luck with this guy.
Own up. Who is that stupid that wants to stand by that idiotic idea? Any of you? Gloria, are you in on that?
No, I'm not in on this. I'm not in.
No. What about you, Gakushi? Are you going to stand by that idiotic?
Look at the guy on the right. Why would you have a sign like that? Look at the guy on the right. Why would you have a sign that says that? Look at that sign. Why would you have that?
You got him, Gakushi. Get him.
That's right. Come on. Give me some credible news sources that corroborate it.
Well, I don't know. What does that mean? Is that aimed at a child?
Well, who would have? Is that a guy old enough to be your dad or my dad? Who would he aim that sign at?
If we decide how old the man is, will that tell us if his sign is aimed at a child?
No, but it's just a...
Well, let's do some logical thinking then. So when I say, is that sign aimed at a child? Let's think it's completely irrelevant how old the man is and whether he's old enough to be my father. I won't even mention that. Okay? So do we know...
There's a child in the front row. There's a child holding the fucking banner.
Oh, for
in the middle.
Sake, come on.
There's a child in the middle holding a banner.
Here's another video. Here's another rally. Here's a video on YouTube.
Okay, what are you trying to show here?
They're coming for the children.
Oh, so you're going back to that. So these people in public, they're announcing that it's their intention to go for your children, to come for your children. They're announcing that in public. They're actually going to do that, and they're announcing it to the world that that's their intention. You, as a fucking idiot moron, you're going to say that that's what's happening in this video.
It's actually reverse psychology, man. It works.
Is anyone gonna? Are you gonna stand by that, Yakushi? Have I really got to
watch
argue
that
with
video
this
and beat the
idiot?
judge yourself, okay?
The United States government right now says that
I can't be bothered.
children are not.
I give in.
They don't belong to their parents. They belong to the community.